Our game day sponsors here today are Lawrence Electric Co-op, PRTC, and USC of Union. I'm going to ask Coach Gil Moss if he'll make his way up here now, Coach. But today, Lawrence Electric, our game day sponsor, PRTC. So representing Lawrence Electric, we have James Harlan and Mason Addy. Representing PRTC, Miss Jennifer Murphy and Miss Carla Shaw, and as always, Miss Sharon O'Brien, who serves on our board right here at PRTC. And for USC Union, Miss Annie Smith, Miss Paula Moss, and Coach wants to say a few words right here. We've always had Lawrence Electric. We've always had PRTC. We're so thankful for you, Sharon, Mason. We can always count on that table right there, Lawrence Electric. We can count on that table. This year, USC Union, for the first time, we will let Coach Moss speak. Coach Moss.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello, hi. I want to clear up one thing before I get started. Brian Harlan has been sending this rumor around about how he whips me in golf. He has a few times because he hits the red tees. So, anyway, no, it's on behalf of USC Union. It's a real pleasure to be here today. It's a real pleasure to be associated with the Touchdown Club. These clubs are going by the wayside, and I think it's great that Lawrence County has done a fantastic job of keeping this club together. Congratulations to these young men from Clinton High School on their achievements in playoffs, and we'll watch y'all going down the road and pulling for you. Even though we're from Lawrence over here, we still pull for you Clinton folks as well when the playoffs get here. As you know, our campus is in Union. We are in the Old Bell Street School now. And if you are a Lawrence or Union County student looking for somewhere to further your education, as being a Lawrence or Union County student, and you have a 3.0 GPA or better, you can pretty much come for 2 years at our campus for $0. That's something that you want to look into because we have the funds available. And I've only been with the school 2 years. Our golf program is very young. We actually have a couple of kids from Clinton High School and Lawrence High School on our golf team. So they're furthering their education and playing golf in Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. So we really are proud of that program. We're very proud of our association with the Touchdown Club. As Buddy said, this is our first year, but we look forward for many years to come. And I thank you very much for having us here today, and wish you guys in Clinton all the best in your football. Okay. All right.
You know, the game day sponsors, you see the placards right there in the middle of your table. You know, PRTC, hey, look, you couldn't run. We couldn't run the county without you sharing, without you, all of you, what you do there. Lawrence Electric, September the 27th. If we don't appreciate Lawrence Electric now, after what happened on September the 27th, oh my, y'all probably still working overtime of what you had to do. James Mason, I know he called people out of retirement to come in to help us recover, because it was devastating. And USC Union, Coach, we thank you. Just want to shout out our game day sponsors right now. Look at you, program, you see the board of directors, you see all the sponsors. This club is special. You get great speakers like Chet and Don to come today. You know, we all, at Presbyterian College, Blue Hills in the county, and some of us, we divided between Gamecocks and Tigers. This is tradition to have this meeting to kind of get that rivalry started. I know we got Walford in the Citadel in the way, but in just a few days, it'll be time for that big rivalry. We will kind of start it like we always do right here in Lawrence. We want to shout out the Raiders. Coach Porter couldn't be with us today. They concluded their season. Not what they wanted. But I guarantee you, they'll rebound. They're going to rebound. They're going to come back stronger than ever. Coach Porter's going to continue with that program. We always shout out our Raiders. Coach Engelhardt represents the Blue Hose. As they conclude, we will let him speak with the colleges today. And the Clemson High School Red Devils, Chester Cyclones coming to Wilder Stadium tomorrow night, round 2 of the state 2A playoffs. And Coach Fountain right now has got the boys ready, and they'll be ready to go. And how about those guys over at that table right there that fix to go down to Batesburg tomorrow night, probably make a pit stop at Sheely's for to go. And we bring it back a state championship. That's what we will do. And I'm proud to tell you today that this man right here, Mike Hughes, has made it possible that Lawrence Academy and the Crusaders will be on the radio tomorrow night. They've just surrounded themselves just like we do with good people. So, my man Tom Robertson's gonna be on the radio tomorrow night, being the spotter in the stats. Oh yeah! And making his debut tomorrow night on the radio. I'm doing on the phone with Jesse. I said, Jesse, they can't see you, so this ain't PA. This is radio right here, Mike. Reel him in, keep him under control. He's ready to go. I know how passionate he is about his Crusaders. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Bring it on home, okay? Thank you. All right, we got our players of the week. Chiefs will give those out from Lawrence County Farm Bureau.
You know, what is it? As Buddy mentioned, Lawrence could not be here with us, but he's not here. But that's
Okay.
For November 1st, I will tell you, it was the quarterback for Lawrence High School. It was Will Thompson. That was back on Friday, November 1st. I won't go to the trouble of reading all his bios, but we want to congratulate Lawrence District High School, Will Thompson, the quarterback, for our player of the week. We will obviously make sure he receives this and gets recognition. Again, November 1st, player of the week was Will Thompson, Lawrence District High School. And it jumped forward to a couple of weeks ago, to November 8th, our player of the week for Lawrence Academy. Return guy, Garrett Murphy. Garrett, come on up here. For Lawrence Academy. November 8th, in the playoffs with all schools in the playoffs as well. This is the guy as a running back and a linebacker. This gentleman rushed for 141 yards on 6 carries. 2 touchdowns, had 1 catch for 66 yards and a touchdown as well. On the defensive side of the ball, he had 4 tackles, 1 forced fumble. Coach Doolittle states, Garrett is everything a coach expects in a captain. He's a 360-degree leader. He's a great football player and even a better young man. November 8th, player of the week, Garrett Murphy, Lawrence Academy. Week, but talk about how proud we are of Lawrence Academy as well. Folks, I don't know they do a spread in high school. This team, I think, was a 39-point underdog last week. They went down to Blackville, defeated Jefferson Davis. Outstanding player for that game. Come on up, Nathan Bell. This is his stats, folks. This gentleman had 18 total tackles. 18 total tackles, 1 for a sack, 4.5 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. That's just on defense. On offense, he played every offensive snap, helped our offensive line gain over 350 yards from line from scrimmage. Coach Doolittle says for Nathan, he's a tireless worker, relentless competitor. He's played nearly every snap of every game. He's a team-first guy, a true throwback player. Tougher it gets, the better he is. November 15th, player of the week, Nathan Bell, Lawrence Academy.
Now it's time to hear from our high school coaches, as always. That's what this club's all about. Like you said it, Coach. It's all about these kids. I know a lot of times these clubs are going by the wayside. Gene, Scott, Casey, everybody's sharing, everybody makes this club happen, and it's all about these kids. So we're going to bring up Coach Fountain first. Coach, second round against the Chester Cyclones. They defeated Hillion. I think I said it right. Hillion this past Friday night. This is Coach Corey Fountain.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, this one. Appreciate you guys having us. Thanks for everything you guys do for high school football in Lawrence County. Congratulations to Coach Doolittle and Lawrence Academy. Awesome, you're where we want to be later on down the road. But go get them. If you know anything about Coach Doolittle, you know it's God, family, and it's football, and he's going to have those guys right. I knew when he took the job that he was going to get Lawrence Academy back on track and on time. Just appreciate everything that you guys do. Food's awesome. I was a little disappointed because we're missing our Thanksgiving meal at our school, and if you know anything about Clinton High cafeteria, they know how to throw down. Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter. I mean, food's going to be good. So this was great. Whiteford's did an awesome job. The ribs were tremendous. We had Hillion last week. we were able to take care of business against them. This week we have Chester. That's a little bit different beast. Don't look at the record. The record's 5-5, but it's not indicative of how good Chester is. They had a lot of injuries, missing players throughout the year. They've got everybody back healthy according to Coach Floyd, and they're going to be coming at you full go. If you know anything about them, last year they did this popcorn defense. It's kind of like mass chaos. Everybody's walking around. At the snap of the ball, they all have a gap that they have to take care of. So it gets a little crazy at times. So we got to weather the storm. They're going to punch us in the mouth. We got to punch back harder, and we got to be ready for them this Friday night. Best time of year when you're playing football when the grass is brown. Today I brought Kason Copeland with me. If you would stand up, Kason. Kason is a senior. He's a running back, linebacker. He's really, he battled some injuries at the beginning of the year. He's persevered, come back. He's really been a force on defense for us at linebacker, Kason Copeland. Next I have KJ Vance. He had 3 carries last week, 2 of them for touchdowns, some really long runs. He might have had a touchdown called back too, I believe. Did you have a touchdown called back? I don't know, we've had so many called back, I don't know. But just a really great player for us who's come on strong. He's gotten in the mix at running back. At first he wasn't in that rotation, but he made a way for himself to be on that rotation in practice and in the games by just competing each and every day. KJ Vance. Up next is Jaden Glenn. You probably recognize him. He's a state champion in baseball too. But we're hoping some of that rubs off on us, and we got to go 1-0 this week. But Jaden Glenn's the ultimate team player. He can play a little bit of quarterback for us. He can play tight end for us. He plays linebacker. You name it, and he can do it. We have moved him to the defensive line, and he's been a force to be reckoned with there. I think 2 weeks ago he had 9.5 tackles, half a sack, and a couple tackles for loss. But just the ultimate team player. Appreciate everything he does for us, Jaden Glenn. Up next, DJ Clark. I think DJ might have come the last time. Did you come the last time we came? Yeah, DJ was upset. That was the first time he'd ever been to the touchdown club. Now he's gone 2 times in a row. He had 2 carries for 2 touchdowns last week. And I didn't let him start out the game because he had been battling a hamstring injury, but he said he could go, and he was right on his first carry he scored. On the second carry he scored, and then he got mad as I took him out. I was like, we've seen enough. You've done a good job, DJ. But each and every day, he can play defense or offense. A good leader for us. He's also a senior. Up next is Lucas Kirkendall. In the Liberty, it was a Liberty game. He had a bunch of touchbacks, just kicking the ball into the end zone. Every single kick, we want that this Friday too, Kirkendall. But just been consistent all year for us. Also battled injuries at the beginning of the year. And he persevered through those injuries, and now he's back on target and on the right track. Lucas Kirkendall. All these young men represent their school, they represent their family and community with pride in everything they do, and I appreciate these guys each and every week. All right, thanks.
Coach Fountain and Clemson's got a tradition. Anytime a Red Devil comes for the first time, they make them believe they got to stand up here and speak. So I'm not sure who's for the first time, but I tell you what, they look terrified when they come in here. That's what it's about. I promise you, they're not afraid of no football team.
Yeah, don't tell anybody though. Don't tell me.
Hey, up next, Coach Doolittle. Come on up, Coach. State championship. They wasn't even supposed to be there tomorrow night. But somebody didn't tell the Crusaders about that. Here's Coach Doolittle to give the Crusader report.
As always, it's an honor to be here. This club does it as good as anybody, certainly better than any of the touchdown clubs I've been part of through the years. So certainly thankful to have us. And we are thankful and blessed to still be playing ball. Coach Fountain, thank you for the kind words. I could probably use all my time talking about how good of a man Coach Fountain is, and awesome job he's doing wherever he's been. But happy to bring some guys with us today. I don't know how many people thought that we'd still be playing, but what I told our guys at the beginning of this week is it didn't matter as long as the guys in that locker room believed, and we did. And we have something that's called heart speed. And I'm just very thankful to coach a group of young men that bought in and done such a wonderful job. Tell you about a couple of the guys that we brought. most of them are return guys. We've got a small roster, but these guys would represent any team that would be here and represent them very well. First, we have Garrison Vaughn. He anchors our offensive and defensive line. I don't know how many times in 24 years. I was thinking back, I think one time in 24 years I've had a defense lineman lead the team in tackles. Garrison currently leads us in tackles, but video game-like numbers with tackles for loss. He has 42 and a half tackles for loss in the season. That's just unheard of. But he has done a wonderful job on both sides of the ball for us, and Garrison Vaughn. Next is Ethan Collins. He's our quarterback, sophomore, signal caller. Everything that you want in a quarterback. He's tough. He's a hard worker. He makes good decisions. He runs our offense and runs it at a very high level. A lot of our games we're trying to run out the clock and finish it off, but he's also led us on many drives this year where we've had to throw the football. Completes over 70% of his passes. I think he's closing in on 20 touchdown passes on the season. Ethan Collins, sophomore. Heard a little bit, just a little bit ago about Nathan Bell. Nathan Bell's a junior, linebacker, tight end for us. Up until a couple of weeks ago, when we brought up some middle school kids to finish out our first round playoff game, I believe we had played every snap of every single game up to that point. And as we mentioned earlier, a true throwback player. The tougher it gets, the better he is. And I can't think of a better compliment to give somebody. A great leader for us. Next, we have Caleb Hardy. Caleb's a Swiss Army knife for us. Can play pretty much every position. He usually gets the distinction on defense. We put him where we need him the most on Friday nights. He's second on our team in rushing. He's first in receiving. He's second in tackles. Really jack of all trades for us. Wonderful, tough football player. And then you've heard all season about Garrett Murphy. Phenomenal season. Not done yet. Over 2,000 yards rushing. I don't know, probably closing in on 30 touchdowns on the year, maybe more. I don't know. But and he also does it on the other side of the ball. Phenomenal defensive player for us as well. But it's been an interesting week. The thing that I told our guys is this: we cannot think about Friday night. We think about the next day of practice. And our guys really bought into that. We really stacked good practice days. We prepared well. We practiced well. After the day, the hay will be in the barn, and it's just time to go out and play. It's kind of a similar story to last week. It doesn't matter who thinks we can win as long as we believe those things to be true. One of the things that we've kept continued over the course of the playoffs, telling our guys is it's a funny scripture to talk about with a bunch of football guys, but it's from the love chapter in Corinthians. And it says, these three remain: faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. We talked about faith all year, from the time that Jesus was in the boat and he calmed the storm, and he asked his disciples, where's your faith, and why are you afraid? And so our guys have learned what to put their faith in, hopefully from a spiritual standpoint, but also what we build our team around. And hope is not a wish. All right, hope is a bedrock, foundational belief that you know what is true, and our guys have hope in the things that we've spent our time building. And then the greatest of these is love. John 15:13 says, no greater love than this, that a man would lay down his life for his friends. And so that's what good football teams have to do. They just have to lay down their own personal ambitions for the greater good of the team. They have to sacrifice for each other, and our guys have done that. And so now one remains, and the greatest of these is love, and I'm beyond blessed and privileged to coach these guys. Thank you. You.
Okay, it's time for our Blue Hose Sport Coach Engelhardt 3-game winning streak. And the end is coming up this Saturday at Bailey Stadium at 1 o'clock. Butler is coming in. I don't know if they know what's waiting, but Coach Engelhardt sees the ticket all about it. Coach.
Thank you all. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Okay, good. Can't hear myself. Just trying to be 1-0 this week, like all these guys, one play at a time, and wish both these teams, Clinton and Lawrence Academy, the best of luck this week. I know you guys will go get it done, and we'll be watching and supporting you guys this week. So, we're excited about this week. Obviously, a little bit bittersweet. I think we're playing our best ball of the season right now. You look back on the year, and we've had some tough weeks, some tough losses, kind of starting with the Storm game where we had to move a home game against Davidson to their place on Sunday, and had opportunities to win that game and lost a close one there, and then 2 overtime losses. And then obviously we had one of those overtime losses against Drake at home on homecoming, and they were the best team in the league. So really feel like we're sitting here and could be the best team in the league right now, but our guys have just continued to push and continue to work and love each other and care for one another, and really we played really connected ball the last 3 weeks, and we got to win it down in Florida versus Stetson, and then came home and played Dayton at home, which Dayton's a really good football team, and we really dominated in all 3 phases. And won that game at home, and really, started really getting a lot of confidence with our team going into the bye week. And then this past week flew up to Marist and again dominated that game and came home with the win. So 3 wins in a row going into this last week versus Butler. And Butler's a really good football team. They're 9-2, and they really feel like they should probably be playing for the championship as well. They have a chance. I guess to be a tie for a conference championship, but we got something to say about that. I think that we'll play really well home at Bailey Memorial Stadium and come away with the win. And if we can do that, and I believe that we will, I think that we'll play really well. We'll do something that hasn't been done in quite some time. It'll be the first time the Blue Hose has won 4 games in a row since 2007, and then the first time that we've won 6 games in a season since 2014. Harold Nichols had that season there. So, I just really like our team right now. I think we're playing really good and excited about this Saturday, and hope to see you all there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Go Blue Hose. As always, this has been the week of the Clemson-Carolina series right here at Touchdown Club. Some years ago, the game was moved to the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and we know we can't meet here, so we kind of had to move it up for several years. And we blessed today, I know speak for Mike and the radio crews, Gene, Harold, our Clement, Red Double radio crew. We blessed to have 2 guys that mean so much, both to Gamecock Nation and to Tiger Nation. And they have the visitor, Chet. We gave him the choice. He's deferred to the second half, so that means Don Munson's going first, and I get the honor of introducing a man that I think so much of. I've only met him one time. He don't know who I am, but I pattern pretty much what I do after this man right here and his predecessor, Jim Phillips. But you talking about a man loyal. Talking about a man loyal to his faith. He's not afraid, just like you, Jolly. This man right here is not afraid to share his faith. And he is an inspiration to Clemson Nation. He is the director of athletic, director of broadcasting, serves on that radio network. He's been doing it for over 2 decades. But when he became a play-by-play guy, everything changed. Because as a play-by-play guy, he represents Brad Brownell. He represents Eric Baptist. He represents Dabo Swingle. He literally does. And so he does such a tremendous job that he graduated from Appalachian State in 1984 with his BS degree in communications. He served as a voice there for the Mountaineers, also Western Carolina, UNC Asheville. But of all that, what Don Munson probably won't be to tell you is that his wife, Elizabeth and his daughter Michelle is the apple of his eye. This man right here represents and has a huge responsibility for Tiger Nation, and he does it well. The voice of the Clemson Tigers, Don Munson.
Y'all are gonna laugh at me. I'm gonna lay that thing down because hopefully you will not need that. I'll be able to talk loud enough for all of you to hear me. Wonderful to be here in Lawrence with you all. Love coming to touchdown clubs. These unfortunately, touchdown clubs are a thing that are going away. But I don't understand that because they're a vital part of the community. You see how they honor high schools, see how they honor the colleges that are here in the community. I think it's wonderful. We need more of that. Particularly, we need more of that in our society now, probably more than ever. Making sure that these folks know that you are behind them, that you are there to support them, that you are not there to cut them down. They get enough of that stuff on social media. All right, so put your arms around them, love up on them, is what I would tell you to continually do, and that's what I love about the Lawrence community and the way that you do that. I'll tell you a little bit about Clemson. Obviously, we have the Citadel this weekend. Then we'll have South Carolina that will come into Death Valley next Saturday. So looking forward to that. I don't know that people are pleased with a 12 noon kick. I can tell you, Chet and I, if we could play them at 9 a.m., we'd play at 9 a.m. I can tell you that for sure. Because he's like me. I hate night games. I hate night games. We don't get home till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It ain't a whole lot of fun. Then you got to get up and go to church the next day and pray that the preacher doesn't point at you and say, "Hey, wake up, Munson, let's go." All right. But we're excited about the next couple of weeks. Clemson, a little bit of a banged up team right now. We got out of Pittsburgh. I don't know how we got out of Pittsburgh with a victory, but somehow we stole one in the Steel City. I kind of like we were stealing the Steel City. Is what we did. So Klubnik takes off and goes on that 50-yard touchdown run with just 76 seconds left in the game and turned everything around for us, and then had enough defense to hang on and get out of there 24-20. Citadel coming in town. People will, if you're a Clemson fan, people will have a tendency to look over the Bulldogs. That's a bad thing to do. You don't overlook any team because what we have all found out in today's day and age of college football, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. All right? Clemson's banged up. Our offensive line is going to be makeshift again. We don't have that much depth in our offensive line. We're praying that we get through this week so we don't get anybody else hurt because we're going to need all bodies certainly the next weekend when South Carolina comes rolling into town. So, but I think we have a pretty good defense. I really do. I think that sometimes it's been a little bit maligned throughout the season, but I kind of like what we have, particularly in our starting 11, and then behind that the next 11. So I feel like our first 22 are all pretty good. T.J. Parker had himself a game certainly this last weekend up in Pittsburgh with 4 sacks. He was the National Defensive Player of the Week by a couple of publications and so a couple of awards committees. So that was great to see from him from that standpoint. Wade Woodaz will not play again probably this weekend for Clemson. He took a knee to his thigh and just a horrible bruising effect that it turned. I mean, his whole leg was just black and purple, and now it's all settled down into the bottom of his ankle as the blood kind of runs out and diffuses throughout the body. But I don't know that we'll see Wade, but we will have Sammy Brown. We will have Barrett Carter back at linebacker. Something tells me we'll probably play a little bit more of the 4-2-5 defensive scheme this week, even though Citadel's a running football team. But something tells me we'll probably just go a little bit because of that. Great respect for the Citadel as they come into this, as we have great respect for South Carolina. And I know that's, just look at it. There's some scattering of maroon. There's some scattering, of garnet, I should say, the scattering of garnet and the scattering of orange. It's fun. It's fun, all right? The rivalry is great. It's one of the great rivalries all in college football. It's been a blast to be a part of it. This is my 31st year of me covering Clemson at Clemson. I'm 62. It's hard for me to believe that I've been here half of my life, doing this. And then taking over for the late, great Jim Phillips. The program says voice of the Tigers. No, Jim Phillips will always be the voice of the Tigers. I'm just occupying his chair. But I do have the best job on campus. I mean, I do. They pay me to go sit on the 50-yard line. They pay me tonight to get back. I'll call a basketball game.
tonight. I do some other stuff as well, you know, calling men's and women's soccer. I'll do a volleyball game. Obviously, I get to do baseball, all that kind of stuff. It is the greatest way to make a living. It's just a wonderful, wonderful way. God has blessed me very richly. He has blessed me very richly with the job that I have. And I am the representative of Clemson and things just like that. And I always have to be cognizant of that. But the last thing I will tell you is that more so, I'm always a representative of my God and my Lord Savior. And I would tell you folks that if you do not think that